Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to the ETX Thermal Hunter channel. Today we're going to be doing an optic review that I'm pretty excited to be doing, to be honest with you. I've had this optic for several months and I haven't posted a video in a while, and there's a reason for that. So I have a backlog of scopes that I've been out there testing and doing field testing on and doing content with, and oh man, 2024 was a crazy year. There was lots of great optics released and lots of new things to test. So we're going to go through a couple things in this video. We're going to go through the specs of the optics. We're going to do a walk around of the optics, and then we're going to talk about likes and dislikes. And I'm going to kind of end just talking about who I really think this optics will be good for and what use cases this really does really well in. So we'll jump right into it. We'll jump into the specs. So today we're talking about the Rix Optic Storm S6. It retails for $27.99. It's got a 5-year warranty. So it's a 640 by 512 resolution. Now here's the thing that I want this to stand out. This is a 640 resolution optic under the $3,000 price point. That is a really good thing because, you know, a couple years ago you could not get a 640 resolution optic anywhere under $3,000, much less right at the $3,000 point. Most times they were in the $5,000 range or higher to get a 640 resolution, and most of the really good 384s were between $3,000 and $4,000. So go back to the resolution and specs. It's 640 by 512, 12 micron, 50 hertz refresh rate. It's got an NETD value of less than 25. It's got a base magnification of 2 by 8, which is 4 digital zoom. So it goes from 2 base magnification up to 8 max power with a digital zoom. It's got a field of view, because it's a 2 power, a very wide field of view. So it's got a 66 feet at 100 yards field of view. So really wide field of view, good for scanning. It's got built-in Wi-Fi, so it also connects to the Rix Plus mobile app that allows you to Bluetooth through the scope, or Wi-Fi through the scope, sorry. It's got built-in storage, so it's got 32 gigs of storage. You can take video and audio. Video and audio was something that, you know, a couple years ago you didn't get on all your optics, and I know there's some people out there that I don't really care about that, but pretty much any new scope that's coming out on the market nowadays is going to have video and audio, so you get to hear the hunt and talking and the shots, as well as see all the video of the content that you're capturing with your optic. Power system, so it runs off 18650 flat top batteries. So there's 18650 button tops and flat tops, so we'll get into that here in a little bit. It's got a runtime on the batteries about 5-6 hours. Cold nights you're going to get about 4 hours. It's got a USB-C port, so you can plug in a USB-C cable, charge the optic, as well as take your videos and images off of the optic and put them on your computer. It's got 5 zeroing profiles. It's got 8 reticle choices, and then it's also got an additional 9th reticle choice that you can customize through the mobile app and then kind of define what you want it to do. It's also got reticle choices, so it's got 4 different reticle color choices, That's black, white, green, and red, so you can pick what color you want your reticle. It's got a weather mode. The weather mode is pretty interesting because it allows you to kind of choose, you know, based on the conditions you're hunting in. So if it's clear, cool night, low humidity, you can put it in a sunny mode, and if it's kind of nasty, it's got foggy, high moisture, you can put it in a rain mode, and so that'll kind of optimize the optic to give you the best image quality. It's got recoil activated video, so that means you can turn that on and it'll capture 15 seconds before and 15 seconds after your shot, so you can ensure you always capture your shots when you're recording video. If you do start a video and you're recording a video, it'll still capture the recoil activated video, so you'll get 2 videos, the video you started and stopped, as well as the video of just the shot. So kind of gives you some redundancy to make sure you always get your hunts on camera. It's got a very compact form factor, so I'll hold it up here. It's very small. It's 5.3 inches long, 2.5 inches tall, and 2.2 inches wide. It's very lightweight. It's less than a pound, so it weighs 0.97 of a pound, so very light optic. It's got a single lever Rix branded QD mount. The mount is very good. I used it on several different rifles, took it on and off the rifles that I had it sighted on, held 0, so it's impressed with the mount. It's IP67 rated, so it's waterproof, dustproof, so it's made for the elements, so you're not going to hurt it. It's made to be out in the elements while you're hunting, so you don't have to worry about if it's raining, it's going to get ruined. So another thing it has is resolution enhanced mode, so you can turn that on. It does consume a little bit more battery power, but that'll allow you to kind of just crisp up the image a little bit. I'm going to do a walk around now. So let's talk about this optic. I'm going to show you it up close. So this is the Rix Storm S6. It's got a 35mm objective lens with a nice clip-in place lens cover. You can also spin this around and have it open however you want it. So it gives you some flexibility. I always turn mine around the opposite way because I'm left-handed. It's got a focusable LCD diopter focus, so it focuses the viewfinder for you, and it's got a focusable objective lens. Your power button is right here, and your USB-C port with a dust cover and a waterproof cover right here to protect the port. On this side, you got your battery compartment. This is where the 18650 flat top battery goes in. It's got a cap that screws in right here. It's also retained, so you don't have to worry if you pop your cap off at night, it's going to fall on the ground. It's attached to the scope, so that's a nice little feature. It's got a built-in rubber eyepiece. This can be taken off if you don't want it, and it's got ambidextrous buttons. So you got your menu button here, you got your zoom in button here, you got your video button here. So short press captures a picture, long press starts a video, and long press ends a video. You've got your image nuke or calibration on this side, and then you can quickly pick your color palettes. Your color palettes are going to be black hot, white hot, red hot, and then a fusion or a color mode. And then you've also got red monochrome, which was a nice addition. I use that quite a bit on nights where it was really foggy or high moisture, or it's good on your eyes. So for long nights when you're behind your scope, it's a lot easier on your eyes. Really like that color palette. So that's your kind of walk around. So let's go ahead and talk about what I really liked about this optic. So can't get past the image quality. For sub $3,000, 640 resolution, my expectations were a little bit low when I heard about it, just for the fact that, you know, what did they sacrifice to get it under $3,000 at 640 resolution? I'm gonna tell you they didn't. It's not a budget 640 resolution scope. The optic has a great image quality, especially for sub $3,000. Really, that's something that stood out the most about this optic. Anyone that's hunted with me or is like, hey, what do you think about that optic? First thing that I tell them is the image quality is outstanding for what you're paying for it. It goes toe to toe with a lot of really other good 640s. It's the best 640 resolution that's $3,000 or less, no doubt. Detection range, since we're talking about image quality, let's talk about detection range for just a second. So it says it's, at a 6 foot human target, human heat source, 2,000 yards from a detection range. But what really matters is ID range. ID range, to me, if you're looking, at a coyote-sized animal, 400 to 500 yards on ideal conditions, no problem. For a deer, a hog, a cow, something of that size, 600 yards is not going to be a problem. Now, again, these are ideal conditions, and the other thing you have to take in consideration is your experience with thermals. I'm just talking about conservative ID ranges that anyone that picks up the scope could be able to see and identify an animal confidently. Compact size, can't get past that. That's my number 2 favorite thing about this optic. I often try to build lightweight rifle setups, and when I'm doing that, one thing I consider is the optic's weight. Being less than a pound and being less than 6 inches, very, very easy, very lightweight to mount on your rifles. Because of the form factor, it's probably going to be better suited, and we'll get into this a little bit more, for people that are running AR platforms. It will work on a bolt gun. However, you might have to scrunch up on your eye relief a little bit. I don't know that you'll be able to set it far enough back on all bolt guns, but I definitely use it on bolt guns and ARs, and it worked good. The other thing that I really like about this, and kind of falls into this compact, lightweight is if you're a type of person that wants to run an optic and also use it as a binocular, this thing works outstanding as a binocular, especially when you look at where they positioned the throw lever on this mount, and I'll hold it right here. It's set forward, so it makes it really easy to hold it as a binocular. It's comfortable because of its weight. It's no problem scanning long periods of time with it. I used it as a binocular several times, and oftentimes grabbed it over my binocular to just scan my pastures or scan fields when we were showing up if it wasn't mounted on my rifle. So, that is a giant light to me, because it allows you to have the flexibility to mount it on a rifle or a weapon or what of your choice, as well as just use it as a binocular. So if you're looking for like a buddy scope, something like that, great option. The button system, I do like the buttons. I am a left-handed shooter, so optics sometimes are not ideally set up for me. If they're set up in a way that they're more oriented towards a right-handed shooter, having the buttons on the top, having them very pronounced, space good, very easy to operate with gloves on cold nights or without gloves. So that is something I really like. It's something I always kind of nitpick when I'm doing reviews, is what the button configuration is, because when you're in the dark and you're hunting, you're trying to memorize the buttons and be able to easily and quickly find them to change the options or change the modes you want to use on the optic. That's important to me. So really like that as well. All right, a couple things on dislikes. Not very many, because like I said, I've had this optic for months. Didn't really want to give it back. But the 18650 flat top batteries, they're cheap, just like the button top 18650 batteries. However, they're just a little bit harder to find. The good thing is this optic comes with two. So the other thing that was kind of tying to the battery system is, on cold nights, you're only going to get about 4 hours of runtime, or that's what I was getting on it. Now I'm doing video recording, I'm changing settings, so I'm doing a lot with the optics that probably impacts the battery life a little bit. But I did notice that colder nights, you're only getting about 4 hours. So, I mean, you're still going to get 8 hours of runtime with the two batteries you got. If you're going to be hunting a tournament, hunting longer than that, I would definitely recommend getting a couple extra 18650 flat top batteries. The other thing that's a little bit, not so much a dislike, it's just different, is that on all the other, this menu system that the Rick Storm has is just a little bit different than the menu systems and configuration settings of other optics I've used in the past. The learning curve is not long. I mean, it was a quick learning curve. I just had to get into the menus and play around with them. I typically don't read the manuals, just for the fact that I want to know how easy it is to just pick up this optics out of the box, mount it, inside it in, and use the optic. A lot of people don't read manuals. So I always try to do that from an experience standpoint, just say, what is the average user going to pick it up? Can they operate the optic? Can they sight it in? How difficult it was. I did notice that sometimes I was hitting the wrong button and going the wrong menu and had to go back. But once I did it a couple of times, memorized the menu, made it really easy to use. So not a dislike, just something that's different. So I wanted to call that out. So that's kind of my likes and dislikes. Let's talk briefly about who this optic is good for. So like I said, 640, but it's a 2-base magnification. So if you're somebody that's trying to shoot, consistently over 200, 250 yards, you're a coyote hunter shooting long, way open shots on big fields, I'd probably look at something with a higher base magnification, something in the 3 to 3.5, maybe 4, depending on your distances. So may not be ideal. And you may say, well, it's 640, but it's under 3000. I may want that. The one thing you want to do is buy the wrong optic, because it's not going to meet your use case. If you're someone that shoots longer, I would look for something that's got a higher base magnification. And that may be a 384 resolution scope and not a 640 if your price point is $3,000 or less. And there's great optics in the 384 resolution that have higher base magnifications. But this is great for hog hunters. This is great for someone that wants a wide field of view, does scanning, might want to use it as a binocular, especially hog hunters that are hunting kind of where I'm located in East Texas, where we don't have a lot of giant fields all the time. Sometimes you're hunting in bottomlands or trees, or your shots are closer because you're getting closer to animals. Someone maybe just be hunting, I'm a deer hunter and I want to be able to shoot pigs off of my feeder from the deer stand, and my feeders are 100, 150 yards. This scope's going to be ideal for that. Can you make 200, 250 yard shots with this scope? Yeah, not where you want to buy this scope if that's what your average shot range is going to be. I would say your average shot range for this optic is going to be 100 to 150 yards, because just the base magnification is low and you're going to have to zoom in potentially farther than that, and then you're cutting your resolution in half. So keep those things in mind when you're thinking about who this is good for. Again, if you're someone that just wants one optic to be a binocular and a rifle mounted optic, great option. Picture quality is great. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So that kind of covers all of my likes, dislikes, walk around. I've been showing footage from my hunts and content, and hope that helps you. And when you're doing your investigation and you want to hear more about this optic, if there's something that you want to know about this optic that I didn't cover, drop a comment in this video. I'll definitely get back to you. You can also find me on Instagram at ETX Thermal Hunter. I do my best to answer all direct messages there. So please, go and like and follow me there. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like I said, there's going to be lots of new videos and content coming out this year. Excited to bring you some really good reviews on some of these new exciting optics that have come out. But I cannot close this video without giving a shout out to Outdoor Legacy Gear. I couldn't do this without them. They give me optics to test. By no means do they pay me or give me any perks. It's just a matter of giving honest feedback, doing some field testing, putting these optics through the paces that I do with my hunting experience, and bringing you guys some good content and good reviews. So it's really for you guys. I really appreciate you guys sticking around, listening to this video. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on notifications. That way you'll know anytime I put a new video out. But as always, I really appreciate y'all's time. Y'all stay safe in the field, and God bless.